Good afternoon, YouTubers. Don't know what happened there. I pressed the button, pressed it record, and it went off. Anyway, we're back. Here we are. We're in the garden, in Fiona's Andalusian garden, the lower garden.
Why is it my garden?
Because she's the one that makes all the effort to make it nice. I just enjoy
It's
it.
just not your shooting range anymore. Certainly not when a new jacuzzi comes. Oh my God. A blow-up jacuzzi.
No, indeed not. I'll be going
If
down.
it ever arrives.
I shall have to go down to the local airsoft centre and have a go down there and see what it's all about. Because I've never played airsoft. I don't do it.
Go and meet the chaps
But
and
why not?
chapesses or chicos and chicas.
Why not? Why not indeed? Anyway, what were we going to talk about today? We were going to talk about... I've just been watching a video by Katie Hopkins. Now, I never used to like Katie Hopkins.
No, I didn't.
I thought she was a right-wing, horrible sort of mouthpiece. But since she's had her own YouTube channel, I have been watching her, and she's
I
actually...
absolutely adore
I actually
her.
like her. I actually like her a lot. I've completely changed my opinion of Katie Hopkins. Anyway, she's been to see Alex Belfield. That's her latest video. Was it the latest one?
No, I think she's done another one since, but that was the one that I
She's
thought...
recently visited Alex Belfield. Did I interrupt you then?
No.
Sorry.
No.
I've got to be consciously aware of interrupting because I keep getting criticised for interrupting her.
Me too.
Anyway, Katie Hopkins has recently been to see Alex Belfield in prison, and he's in HMP Five Wells. Wells as in well, wishing well with water. Five Wells, which is near Northampton. It's just north of Milton Keynes, category C. And for the benefit of those of you who do not live in the UK and do not know who Alex Belfield is, Alex Belfield was a YouTuber amongst other things. He used to work for a radio station and he was an entertainer, and he had his own channel. He had a lot of people watching him on his channel, and he made a lot of videos, and he got convicted for picking on someone.
Stalking and bullying.
Yeah, he was online and he was picking on a particular radio presenter. What was he called?
I can't remember.
The one who was always riding around with his bicycle going, "Don't just help me," causing trouble.
You've just, sorry to interject, you've just reminded me of something that I saw in London. I used to go out of the accommodation in the mornings and go for a fag, and I'd go well away from the accommodation, and I'd be like near the main road, and I saw most mornings a van, just an obscure van driver driving along with a cyclist parallel to him, calling him every expletive under the sun. You wanker this, you don't deserve to be on the road, blah, 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 with a webcam, a dash cam thing on his head. Almost every single day I saw it at least once, if not 2-3 times, and I'd look at these people and think, I bet you're a TikToker, I bet you're a YouTuber, I bet you've been inspired by Jeremy Vine. Because I think it's baiting motorists, actually, personally, a lot of what I see Vine doing. But that's beside the point. And the other interjection is, because you're going to get it, there's a lot of people out there hate Belfield and then go, oh, you're a Belfield worshipper. Are you a Belfield worshipper?
No, I've seen him on the telly. I've seen him on YouTube. I used to watch him. I used to find him entertaining, and that's it. I mean, I'm not a fan of him. I don't know him. I'm not a friend of his. I've never been in communication with him.
Because that's a big allegation.
I did think it was
worshipper.
very wrong that he got 5.5 years for being an internet troll, because he'd made a few videos and pointing fingers and laughing at people, which is what people do on the internet. I've seen loads of people do it, and they don't realise, because Trevor's got trolls. They don't realise you're seriously going to go to prison when you get caught.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to catch people because IP addresses and the police aren't that. They've got a lot of work to do, and they prioritise stuff that they're doing, and internet trolling is not really at the top of their list of priorities. But when they do get round to it and they do find who's doing it, they go to prison.
We've got trolls.
Yeah,
Everybody has
everybody's
trolls.
And if you've got a YouTube channel, the more subscribers you get, the more trolls you get.
But I'd ask you, if, for example, one of your trolls was caught, or let's say one of the sugars, that Olivia death threat girl, man, whoever.
Yeah.
If they were caught and the police said to me, and I had a say in it, which victims don't, I don't think, how long do you think Olivia Cromwell should get in prison, or should she get a custodial sentence? Well, with Olivia, I'd say I don't care, custodial or not.
Atalanta.
Or let's say, yeah, Atalanta, I would say if you're going to give a custodial, maximum 12 months. There is no way I would endorse or condone 5 years, 7
No,
years,
it's
9 years,
ridiculous.
12 years.
Absolutely
It's
ridiculous.
ludicrous.
I'd give them 90 days. Make sure they do 90 days. So you'd have to sentence them to 60 days. And they just go to prison for 60 days isn't twice the 90.
Yeah.
180 days.
So you wouldn't vote for a
No. These people need to be thrown in prison for a short, sharp shock, like 3 months, 6 months, something like that. And then they get out of prison and they've got all the devices confiscated.
Yeah.
And you say to them, you start trolling again, you're going back for another 3 months, another 6 months, whatever. That's enough. That's enough to make them think, whoa, because if you go over 6 months.
Yeah.
Prison loses its sting. It
And
really
also,
does. And then you become...
Prison has a nickname, the Great University.
The Great University. You learn so much from so many people about so many things. And that's not what...
It becomes counterproductive, I think, is the expression,
The shock,
isn't it?
the shock of going to prison is over in the first 6 months. And then you become what's that word I hate? Institutionalised. And then you...
Acclimatised.
And it just breeds hatred with every more day that you're in there. You hate the system even more. And you've got screws who were dinosaurs. Now, in my day, there was loads of dinosaurs. I think they've vetted them all out these days. They've been going through all the prison officers and they've been getting rid of all the bad eggs. Dinosaurs, we used to call them. And nowadays, I'm told, I mean, I haven't been in prison for 30 years, but I'm told the screws these days are far more professional than they used to be back in the old days. You get people come out the army and they go, I want another cap badge, I want to work for the government, and so they can't get in the police. They got into the prison service and they just became arseholes and were going around pushing people around and causing more problems than they were solving. But I believe the prison service has got a lot more professional these days, and they've got rid of a lot of the dinosaurs. Probably there are some left.
Well, when you did your stretch, that was archaic. That was 1993 to
92 to 95.
That was really... You were on the back end of the very Victorian system.
Well, they didn't have any toilets when I was in there. They had to urinate in a bucket. And then you had to slop out in the mornings, and in the evenings you'd have to take your bucket to the recess where you'd have to tip it all down a drain and rinse your bucket out. But I mean, you know, some countries have had toilets in prisons for a long time, but not Britain. Britain only just got them like 30 years ago.
Well, I think they were working their way around, coming into force. Lewis Nick had that system, I think, until about 95, 96.
Yeah. And before you go, oh my God, he's an evil criminal. I got nicked for smuggling cannabis from Amsterdam to the UK. Okay.
20 kilos a slab, yeah.
20 kilos, yeah. There was a sophisticated operation. The judge said it was, had aeroplanes and radios, and it was sophisticated. It was a clandestine operation. That's what they said it was. And,
I'd like to know what criminal offence is not a clandestine operation.
But if you conspire with more than yourself to do something, it's a conspiracy. Anyway, moving on. If you want to send money to Alex Belfield...
Oh, well, you covered that before.
I did cover it in an earlier video. You can go on the prison website, the HM government prison website, and it explains how to send money to prisoners, okay?
I actually like to say that when you did that video, I think it was last year, the year before, one of Alex's friends actually emailed, said thank you very much, but he doesn't want anybody to send money.
He did
so I've got to add that.
He did say, please don't send Alex money.
Because you're going to get a load of comments of people going, oh, he's ripping people off and you're begging for more money because you're an Alex Belfield worshipper and blah, blah, blah.
No.
All in capital letters and super angry.
I know. They're trolling me. I hope they get caught. Anyway, no, seriously, you can send money to people in prison. It is a thing that people do. And when I was in prison, there was 80,000 people in the prison community. And today there's 80,000 people in the prison community because the prison system is balanced to house 80,000 people. And if it goes over and it starts to become overcrowded, all they do is they grant people more parole. When the parole comes around, more people get it than would have got normally. And if it drops under 80,000, you're more likely not to get parole because they're trying to keep the figures right. That's how it works.
There seems to be, to me, like two categories of people who demand longer sentences.
Yes, yes.
One category of person to me seems to be someone who's never been in the system, has no understanding.
Yeah. Oh, of course, don't know what we're talking about. Yeah.
But then there's another sort, and I was watching a video a couple of years ago of Ted Bundy. Before anybody knew, he was on local news, and I forget what it was he was complaining about. But it was something to do, I think, with the traffic or speeding drivers near his property. And he was there on the local news. I'm a law-abiding taxpayer and I demand longer sentences. These people are criminals, criminals, criminals. Oh boy. And then it came out, of course, what Bundy was. Serial killer. This is a very extreme example. Now, I've met people in life who genuinely are like that. And then it has either come to light later or it's abundantly obvious to me that that person is up to something quite serious. Not maybe as bad as Bundy, but they're often, and you've been in prison with rapists and murderers, and have you not found that those kind of people are the sort of people who paid their taxes, didn't break the law through I'm poor, I need to shoplift, burgling houses, but they genuinely believe that they are the pinnacle of society, a paragon of virtue.
And these people a lot of them don't see themselves as criminals.
One
day a situation arose and they killed someone and they've gone to prison for life for murder. But they don't see themselves as criminals, and they're sitting in there with a load of villains.
Yeah, they see themselves as
They don't see themselves as villains, even though they're a convicted murderer,
Which is way worse.
But what I find, when there's a very valid point that Fiona just brought up, the people that shout about clamping down, get tougher on criminals, these people are the ones you want to watch, because they've probably got a lot more things going on in the background of their lives than the ones that shout the loudest.
Sometimes.
Not all cases, of course,
but a lot of other people who want longer sentences just don't understand how the justice. They don't understand mitigation. Each case is individual.
And I think it's ridiculous that an internet troll, as much as I hate internet trolls, and they won't get a lot of sympathy from me, but it's ridiculous giving an internet troll 5.5 years. It's ridiculous giving him 2 years. You want to throw them in jail for a maximum of a year, so they're only going to serve 6 months, and they'll get out. They'll get out all flustered, and they'll probably not re-offend again, but if you put them in for more than that, they probably will re-offend again. Or they'll get double sneaky. They'll learn to be more sneaky. They'll change their VPN every 5 minutes.
Doesn't matter. Once someone has been convicted,
professional trial.
Once someone has been convicted and they're released on licence, on probation. They are known. Etc., etc., then it is far more difficult, far more complicated for them, and obviously then there's reoffending. We've actually got a friend who I won't name, who worked very high up in the Home Office.
Yes.
He was in charge of, well, I suppose you could Google him. I don't know, you can actually find his name. He was in charge of the Lawrence inquiry. He was involved in the Bulger inquiry. He was involved in the Mary Bell case. He's very high up was in the Home Office.
Is he retired now?
Yeah, he's retired now. Yeah. And he is just a fascinating character, and he explains that what you want to do when someone breaks the law, there's an element of punishment, but there's also an element of they don't want to create a more dangerous human being that will then be released into society.
Yes.
I've tried to get him on a live a few times, but he's a little cautious because obviously he's a very, very high up person. But
this situation cropped up years ago because Peck, as I call him, working Peck, he's there with his tie on, saying, "I don't pay my taxes for this. I don't pay." He's always shouting the loudest, isn't he? You're going to clamp down on young criminals, young offenders. Tougher sentences. And there was a thing in the UK called DC, and it was detention centre. It was like a borstal for young hooligans under the age of 18. And it was like a boot camp. They used to beast them.
Like that film, Scum.
Making them run around the racetrack and giving them over the assault courses. And what happened was they made these kids really, really fucking angry. And they got out as fit as a commando. And the first thing they did is go and beat people up and rob them. I mean, it was a complete reversal. It didn't do any good to anybody. It made things worse. And so they went, whoa, let's abolish all this detention centres.
Borstals,
Let's get rid of them. They're no good. We're to change the regime altogether because it proved all they were doing was promoting hatred for society. And it didn't work. And that's not what prisons are for.
But equally, on the other hand, you don't want to remove the societal fear of prison, because then that defeats the object. If everybody just was like, oh, it's just prison, don't care, then everybody, you'd be amazed at what people would be. When I see the things trolls say on the internet, it shocks me how many people out there think it's okay to issue death threats, and if there were not laws against murder, how many actual people would just go, fuck it, I'm going to go out and murder somebody today?
You know, I think they should clamp down on trolls, but they shouldn't give them more. No. Like I said, a year.
So we're voting for Atalanta not to get very long in prison.
Not to get very long.
I've got to go to the boat, Graham.
Of course, he's going to go and do Hell Roof. He's going to go and do Hell Roof.
Very smart.
But yeah, I mean, if people realise that you can get locked up, if you go on the internet and you start slagging people off and trolling people on the internet and making their lives a misery and stalking them online, you can be plucked. The police can just kick your door one day, come into your house, take all your devices, throw you in a prison cell, and you'll be charged. Okay, and you're going to go to prison for 6 months. Okay, and you're going to go, no, and that's the end. They won't reoffend. They won't.
Most won't. No.
Most won't. So. I don't. They will always get some.
Anyway, yeah, I've got to.
We're going to go to the boat now. We're going to do another video down at the boat. Hopefully,
I want to edit that together and release it later on.
And release it
later on. The fiberglassing continues.
Thank you very much for watching.